Imagine this, you just graduated university at the age of 24 and you finally land your first job after years and years of studying and earning your first paycheck. Full of energy and enthusiasm, you enter your first work career with gusto. Then reality bites. The work environment is unforgiving. It's about targets, KPIs, and results. The boss is constantly on your back. Your work colleague that's supposed to be your friend just backstab you in the back. Suddenly, work life sucks. After being battered in the work environment for a while, you started playing the corporate game too. Emotionally shut off, you stay guarded and you treat every work interaction with your colleagues as a transaction. Work and personal life are totally separated. Living this double life, you just can't wait for the weekends. You dread Mondays and you look forward to Fridays. Okay, so as if the pressure from work is not enough for us to handle. As we get older, some of us get married, have kids, some of us buy cars, some of us buy houses to stay in, and more financial responsibilities and therefore pressure gets introduced to us as we age. So, what is one of the main coping mechanisms that corporate employees use and deploy to escape all these work pressures, all these harsh realities and emotions that arise from these pressures such as anger, resentment, and fear? Spending money, of course. Spending money is one of the main coping mechanisms that corporate employees deploy actively to take their mind off work and also to give themselves that little boost of happiness to escape reality. It starts with spending that bit more money on the artisanal coffee and then progressing into going to nice fancy restaurants and then going into designer labels like shoes, that shirt, that tie, that dress, that work shoes, and then it starts to progress to holidays where it gets further and further away, and from economy class it goes to business class, and then it progresses to big ticket items like a car, a bigger car, a house, a bigger house, and the list goes on. Many may not realize this, but as global inflation and their own personal lifestyle inflation kicks in, that means in terms of financial management, it is actually going on a downward spiral, and that in turn will have a great effect and impact on their own personal lives. Let me share with you an analogy. Let's say you are on a boat and it's slowly sinking. Water keeps coming in and there you are standing there with a pail and bailing water out in order to keep the boat afloat. Now think of the water coming in as your debts. The debts incurred from your credit cards that you spend on restaurants, cafes, and travels. The debt for your car, the debt for your house. These are all the different kinds of water that's coming in. You only have a pail, which is your job, that's paying the bills, paying the paycheck or the minimum payment on your credit card and bailing the water out. So essentially, you are actually barely floating on a boat that could sink anytime. So after all the things that I've shared since the beginning of this video, if you're somebody who's barely afloat and living paycheck to paycheck, whether you have worked in the workforce 10, 20 or 30 years, my question to you is, have you ever thought about retirement? For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is John, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple. My wife Fran and I retired early at the age of 40 in 2020. The reason for today's video, which is retirement is a financial goal and not an age, is because we would like you to know that the approach to retirement should come from an angle of a target and goal setting rather than allowing the default system, the default retirement system that the government in your country have set for you, which is a typical retirement age. Therefore, if you treat retirement as a financial goal and target, you can actually decide when you want to retire early. This is how the employee mindset traps a lot of people in the corporate rat race. They first bury their head in the work, in the job that they hate, to then draw a paycheck, to be able to spend money and pay the bills, and they start to spend more and get into debt, which then creates more pressure for them to work harder in the job that they dislike, to then get a higher paycheck, to then spend more money and get into more debt, to then create even more pressure for them to stay forever in the workforce. There is actually a lot of psychology behind this employee mindset, and I'd like to bring you this one keyword that perhaps you are familiar with, and it's called instant gratification. Now, Fran and I have covered a lot on instant gratification in a number of videos that we have done previously. Do check them out. But today, we'd like to introduce you a different dimension to instant gratification that you may not have seen before. The typical instant gratification example is when you spend money irresponsibly in a very spontaneous and unplanned manner, and then only worrying about it in the future. No, I'm not referring to that. I'm also not referring to instant results. You want the results fast without wanting to work hard and grind for it, which on the opposite side is called delayed gratification. I'm not referring to that as well. I would like to share with you and bring to your attention that the instant gratification choice that a lot of corporate employees are actually choosing is on a subconscious level. That instant gratification choice is running away from reality, running away from work troubles that makes them sad, unfulfilled, and unhappy. When you're running away from your work pressures, what do? You spend money. You surround yourself with friends who can complain about work together because misery loves company, isn't it? But ultimately, you are still running away from the work realities that you do not want to face. And there comes the irony, because you actually want to quit your work entirely, but you know you cannot. So you take the easier choice, which is to spend money to take your mind temporarily off work, but at the end of the day, you still have to face it. So with this instant gratification effect, it gives you kind of a temporary feel-good time, especially when you spend money from the job that you hate, but ultimately, you do not face up to the realities of your life. In other words, short-term gain, long-term pain. You know, another reason why people will keep working at their job is because of the comfort zone. The comfort that they know what that job entails, even though they don't like, but it's a way that they are familiar with of earning money because that's their only source of income. You know, along the course of my financial freedom journey, I find it, to be honest, very sad that while I'm gunning for my financial freedom by learning different income skills, whether it's on the passive or active income skills outside of my work, a lot of friends actually give up. They not only just give up and not, go on the same journey together, but I find them inflating their lifestyle even more and getting even more stuck in the corporate rat race. And these are guys who are at the same age or older than me. It's not like these guys are happy at their job, okay? Some of them are getting laid off, they are constantly job hopping and at a loss because they are at an age where they are stagnant in their careers. And the interesting thing is, along the course of my journey, or even after I'm early retired, I encourage them, hey, let's take this stock investing course, take this real estate course, take this personal development course that will be really good for you. They don't feel there's any value at all, but instead they will constantly buy that bigger car, that bigger house, go on further holidays. The irony, right? In today's video, I'd like to raise your awareness and hope you realize this, that you have choices in life. Taking the instant gratification route at that moment may seem like the easy way out, but the decision that you made, the choice that you chose, if it doesn't flow with your intuition, it doesn't flow with your inner feelings and your personal values, ultimately you will need to deal with that decision later on. If you are clear you do not want to be in a rat race, have the courage to make a stand and go for it. So come and join Fran and I on our free masterclasses that we have started about a month ago, where we can support you on breaking out the corporate rat race, get clear, strategize, and plan to break out so that you can then be financially free, have the time freedom to gun for whatever you want to create in your life. Do join our mailing list by clicking on the link below so that we can provide you upcoming details of our Zoom webinars. So yes, retirement is a financial goal and not an age that you need to deliberately and intentionally plan for. If you want to retire early in your life, plan and execute early. Our early retirement plan was hatched in 2016 and we timed it for 10 years to retire around 2025. But instead, we got retired in 2020, which is a good 5 years ahead of our plan. And that's because we kept going, we kept learning, we kept getting new skills and continue on a forward path. And that's what I would suggest and advise for you as well. I hope this video has created an awakening in you and raised many questions in your head, and that's a good thing. Do join us on our free masterclasses where we can have better two-way engagement, we can answer more questions and support you further on your goals. And as always, do hit the like button and subscribe to join our YouTube family so that we can create more videos like this for you. Bye bye!